Hey guys, welcome back to Live with the Reality with Trisha and Kiley on the Russell Hantz Show, where we have all of the latest live feed updates from last night on Big Brother, including was the Power of Veto used? We have the latest and greatest. So if you're here for those spoilers, then join us. Hit us with some comments as we're going through. Ask us your questions. If you're watching everything go down yourself and you have questions or something was missed, drop us a comment. Or if you're just watching the episodes and you use us to give you all of the latest tea on the feeds, then hit us with the comments of things that you saw on the episode, and we'll gladly pop them up on the screen and talk about those as we go through our live today. But if you are not here for the spoilers and you're wanting to stay spoiler free, then you'll want to leave our live, catch us after the episode airs, and tell us what you think. So hit us with a thumbs up, drop us with a comment, and hit that subscribe button because here we go, spilling all of the latest reality. So, Kiley, we left off with the power of veto yesterday, and surprisingly, this was the most boring thing that happened in the house.
Yeah, the feeds were pretty busy yesterday. We got to see lots of craziness and lots of really interesting conversations. The most boring thing that happened yesterday was the Power of Veto ceremony, where, shocker, the POV was not used.
Dun dun dun!
Da da dum.
So, as predicted, the power of veto was not used by Memphis. He decided to keep his nominations the same as expected. He didn't want to get too much blood on his hands, so kept the noms the same. No backdoor of anybody this week.
Yeah, so we're left with Nicole, Anthony, and David on the block, and most of what we got to see in the house yesterday did revolve around what the house guests are going to do with the vote out coming on Thursday. And as soon as the feeds were over, we do get this conversation between the two Nicoles where Nicole Franzel comments about how she is so relieved that she is not on the block because her name had been thrown out there as the backdoor option. And just, she said something to the effect of, "Holy jeez, I'm so happy I'm not on the block. What a relief." And she's saying this to
Oh,
Nicole Anthony.
we're so happy. I'm sure Nicole Anthony is just so freaking happy for you, Nicole F.
Yeah, so you're saying it to the wrong person. Like, great if you're extremely happy you didn't get backdoored, but saying it to one of the nominees that is still on the block and is probably going to go home isn't going to go over real well. Like, read the room, Nicole Franzel. What are you doing?
Another thing we talked about yesterday was where is Nicole Anthony's head? Because yesterday we saw on the feeds and the night before that it was not in a good place.
Yeah, she was a bit of a mess, lots of crying, and this yesterday was a better day in the house for her in that she does get it together. She's able to campaign to pretty much everybody in the house. But a lot of the advice that she's getting from the people she's closest with, like Kevin, is really, really terrible advice. I mean, Kevin, God bless him. If only he was
Is it
not
Kevin or
here.
is it Kevin or David Kevin?
Kevin. The real
Okay.
Kevin is just a mess. And he has a terrible read on the house. And he is just telling Nicole Anthony how Janelle and Kaser are playing her. And she is going to look so stupid when she gets out of the house because there is no way that these people are being serious. They're campaigning against her, and everything they're telling her to her face is a lie. And he is just hyping her up to make a drastic move against Janelle and Kaser. So what is Nicole Anthony thinking? What does she want to do?
Well, so at this point, after hearing that, she is ready to blast Janelle and Kaser to the whole house, just putting them on Front Street. She wants to call a house meeting and go off on these two, which is so sad because Janelle has Nicole Anthony's back, like, I mean, a backpack. So
Yeah. She is 100% behind her. She has been actively campaigning for her, but Nicole Anthony's got this idea that come Thursday, if she still feels like she doesn't have the votes, she's going to blow Janelle and Kaser's games up by calling a house meeting. And historically speaking, a house meeting never goes well. It never gives you the intended outcome that you want. And in Nicole Anthony's case, we are seeing that some of the house guests are kind of wavering in their stance between who they want to evict. And so if she follows through with this and decides to have a house meeting and blow it up, then
It's a
she is
sure shoo out the door.
1000% stamping her eviction notice because she has to have Janelle and Kaser 1000%.
At the end of this blow up, she should just say, "And Julie, here I come," because that's where she's headed.
Right. I mean, I'm all for if come Thursday this idea would have popped into her head. Like, I've tried everything else. But for her to already be planning this out, I think that this is not a good plan. It's not going to get her the results that she's looking for. So, no, don't do it, Nicole. We need to slide the banner and let her know.
Yeah, Ed says, "Is Kevin playing Nicole A?" I don't think he's playing her on purpose.
I don't think he's playing her. I think he's just as clueless as she is. So, no, I don't think Kevin is purposely playing Nicole A. He's just as a lost little puppy, just like
Nic-
Nicole.
Nicole A, Kevin, and Anita Vito are all lost.
They're
So
so lost,
to answer
and
that
it's very
question,
sad. We are still we are still seeing lots of these alliances forming, and the house guests seem to be stuck on the number 6. They can't
the house
seem
guest or Tyler.
Tyler in particular, but there's no group larger than 6 forming, which maybe that's as high as they can count. I'm not sure, but they've gone from this name of the Hard Six, which included Cody, Memphis, Tyler, Danny, Nicole F., and Christmas, which is an unofficial name because Memphis can't commit to naming them, to now there's this new group of 6 that we see get officially formed yesterday, and that is Tyler, Cody, Enzo, Danny, Bay, and Day, which I like this group of 6 more, but can they just not come up with anything more creative? I'm over the numbered names in alliances.
Um, Definitely. Yes, I mean, we talked about this yesterday that we got an overdose. We crammed down our throats, shoved in our faces number alliances last season. So, Tyler, please stop. It's why you didn't win. Anyone
Yeah.
who ever has a number in their alliance doesn't win. So, please stop.
Yeah, come up with something more original. If anyone overhears you talking about it, they automatically know how many people are in your alliance. It's just not a good idea. Please, any future house guest, do not name your alliance with a number in it.
If you're
It's
watching
played
our
out.
show and you're trying to get in touch with Rob and Cass, then please just take our advice. Don't do it.
Don't do it.
Numbers aren't the way to go.
Yeah, it's
Speaking of
overplayed.
alliances being given out in error,
Yeah, we do catch Nicole Franzel and Ian Lane in the hammock, and they're discussing Ian's vote and where he feels comfortable and everything. And we know that Nicole F. and Ian have been working pretty close together as the only 2 winners in the house. But Nicole Franzel may show her cards a little bit more than she intended because she lays out that Bailey, Davon, Janelle, and Kaser are on the other side of the house. And Ian, being as sharp and quick as he is, picks up on, okay, well, you're saying that there's 2 sides of the house, like you already have a side and you know where that division is. And Nicole's like, caught in the moment of, oh my gosh,
oopsies.
just let them know what's going on. So Ian is super quick. Of course, he's going to pick up on that little slip. And so now Ian can really see the division in the house laid out by Nicole Franzel. And so,
There's a Nicole side of the house and there's a Janelle side of the house.
yeah, and that is basically where the division lies is it's everybody versus Janelle and Kaser. and it's really, really tragic.
Mm, found this fun little movie poster. Nothing
Nothing.
spreads like envy, jealousy. Coming to a
Yeah.
theater near you.
Starring Nicole F., Cody, Danny, Enzo, Tyler, and Kevin. These people, in particular, these six, just cannot keep Janelle's name out of their mouth. And they are so concerned with what she's doing. I mean, rightfully so, because Janelle is one of the best players in Big Brother history, but she's not been able to get anything going yet. Yet she still has all of these people on pins and needles trying to figure out what she's doing and how she's playing them all. And she's really playing a pretty straight up game. Like she's with Kaser, no doubt. She has Nicole Anthony's back, but they're all still just thinking that she is doing all of this scheming and backhandedness. And really, these are the people that are making multiple deals and multiple alliances and eventually are going to have to stab each other in the back because they have so many deals. So it's really ironic that they're so worried about Janelle and what she's got going on.
Yeah, I mean, ironic, strategy, whatever. These people just need to get over it.
Right. It's an obsession. It's very, very very over the top is the only words for it.
I like that. Play on words. Big Brother over the top. This group of people are over the top.
Yes, over the top jealousy. So that is the theme of the season.
All right.
One
Then we
one
get
thing we
a. Go ahead.
So one thing we've talked about is that they are getting to tweet live from the house, and we see this interesting tweet come up from Memphis that he is sharing from the Big Brother house. He can tweet out anything in the whole world, and this is what he decides to go with.
Live from the BB house. I want to give a shout out to my amazing baby mama and co parent to River, Ashley. Thank you for everything. I couldn't do this without you. Thanks for being an amazing mother.
Which the sentiment behind this is super nice, but I swear if I had an ex-husband and he goes on a national television show and then tweets out calling me his baby mama, I am probably going to stab him when he gets out. Like,
Um,
what is going through this man's head? Seriously.
yeah, and please don't call me your baby mama. Thanks.
Yeah. Just, I can't imagine that Ashley really appreciates him calling her her baby mama for all the world to
Ashley,
see like this.
Ashley is send us your Snap, your Cash App, and we will raise a do a fundraiser to get a plane to fly over Big Brother's house and let Memphis know that this tweet is not acceptable.
Yeah, like just stick with the thanks for being an amazing mother and co parent. Please don't call me your baby mama. I just can't imagine.
Just the hate on Memphis show today.
Just
This week,
continuing. Yeah,
actually.
just continuing with the theme. I'm kind of over these house guests because we expect this level of play from All Stars, and right now we're just not getting it. We're getting a shit show. And these people are just making alliances left and right. Everybody's in an alliance with everybody else. I don't even know
Except
how.
Janelle and Nicole.
Yeah, Janelle and Kaser, Nicole, those three aren't in an alliance with everybody. I don't even know how they're keeping track of them because it's a very tangled web. We've shown you some of the updated alliances that have been formed, and it's a mess.
A
Uh,
whole ass mess.
yeah, a whole one.
Speaking of messes, Danny is having a conversation and she is swearing up and down that she's telling the truth and swears on her family.
Yeah, so if you know Danny's history with her family, excluding her child and Dom, but in particular her relationship with her father, for her to swear on her family is not a very
Doesn't mean shit.
yeah, it doesn't mean anything because this girl has a terrible relationship with her father. And so if she's swearing on Dick's life, then she probably doesn't care if God strikes him down because she has no relationship with him. So when
They
she's
literally do not speak.
Yeah, so when she's having this conversation with Davon and she says, I swear on my family that I did not approach Janelle for an alliance. Like, back up, Davon, because God is fixing to strike it down because this girl is lying. For real.
So anyway, on to Kaser and Ian, who I like to call Kian,
That's a
forming a
great
little
name.
alliance.
Yeah, Kaser and Ian also have a conversation where they agree that they need to kind of back each other up a little bit. Kaser doesn't have a whole lot of people, Ian doesn't have a whole lot of people, and they don't throw out these false promises like the more current house guests are doing, but they tell each other that they can see working with each other till jury. So we do get this word that they are going to form an alliance to jury, which I think is good. I'd love to see both of them make the jury. Kaser never has made it to the jury, so anything that's going to keep him in the game, we're here for.
Yeah, I also like that they're like, I like that they're not saying final two. I mean, because we all know
Yeah.
Kaser's really loyal to Janelle, and I think Ian knows that too. So I like this is more promising to me than a final two alliance. Like, get to jury, we'll go from there. Like, let's
Right.
just stay solid until then. I like
Right.
that.
This sounds like a very old school Big Brother way of playing. It sounds straight up and legitimate. We're gonna watch each other's back till a certain point, and then we'll go from there. Maybe we can work together further. Maybe we can't. But let's be honest, we're not going to all be able to make it to the final two. So there's no reason to promise every single person in the house a final two deal.
Yeah. So I like it. Well, I stand the Kian alliance.
I stand anything that is going to keep Kaser and Janelle in the house. That's what I'm here for.
And I stand anything that's going to keep Ian in the house. So this just really works out great for the spilling the tea group.
Yes. Thank you for keeping us in mind as you form your alliances.
Appreciate
Appreciate it.
it. Speaking of two people that I personally like as well, Davon and David. So, I like to think that they're going to get married, Kissing, all the way to the church at the end of this show. But what's up with Davonid?
So we do get to see a little conversation, and Davon does say that she does think that David's a little bit sexy. So I'm just saying maybe your wishes are going to come true, Trisha.
Woo!
But in terms of the
And
vote,
that's the tea, folks.
in terms of the vote, we know that Davon had said under zero circumstances is she going to vote David out of the house. She doesn't necessarily care if he stays or if he goes, but she personally is not going to have a hand in him leaving the Big Brother house. But da da dum.
She did have a conversation with Nicole A and Bailey saying, well, I'm sorry, Nicole A pitched to Bailey and Devon and was like, look, like, I'm here for you guys, da 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 da, like, it's going on, campaigning a little bit. Yay, kudos for that. And then Devon is then having a conversation with Bailey and is like, it might kind of make sense for us to, keep Nicole if we have her as a number for our side and get rid of David instead. And she was like, I'm not totally against this idea. So, maybe we get rid of David instead. And that was
Yeah,
the first time she really said anything like that because, like you
right.
said, before this, it was, I'm not getting rid of David. It's not happening. That vote ain't coming from me.
Yeah, and we part of what leads Dave on to saying this, besides the fact that Nicole is actively campaigning, is David spills the tea that he is in an all boy alliance. Obviously, I think that's pretty far down on the other boys' totem pole, but
It's high on
David
David's.
yeah, but it's high on David's, and he let it be known to Davon that that's where he is aligned with the house. And David seems to be having some interesting conversations in the house while he's campaigning. Like, seriously, it's almost like which one of us can do the worst job of campaigning so that people will send us out of the house. Because David then has a conversation with Queen Janelle. This man is going to go to Janelle and tell her that if he stays in the house, that he is going after Memphis, and that he associates Janelle with Memphis, but he's going to give Janelle a 1 week pass. Like, you're okay, baby girl, for 1 week, and then I'm coming after you. This man, who has played a cumulative 9 days in the Big Brother house, is coming for Janelle, who
Won
now holds
0 comps.
0 comps, just competes terribly, is going to give Janelle, Queen of Big Brother, a 1 week pass.
That is so kind of him. What a deal. Janelle is
This
an
is
idiot for not taking this.
right. Like, she is so worried. You're probably going to have to be evicted now on this statement alone. She just cannot have you coming for her in a week. What is she going to do?
She no longer has to campaign for Nicole Anthony. She can just campaign against David at this point.
Right. Like, I only have a 1 week pass, y'all, and then he's coming for me, so we better get him out of here because I cannot have all of that coming for me.
Yeah. Oh, well, I know David's just going to win HOH next week, so I should probably keep him.
Right. We should not even put this out into the universe, but I just don't see him being able to fulfill his promise. And in this conversation, we have Janelle and Kaser spilling the tea to Bailey and telling her all about it. And we get just an iconic quote from Kaser, and he lets them know why he is another returning player to Big Brother.
They called me for a reason.
Mhm.
And I'm gonna fuck this shit up.
Hell yeah, Kaser!
Okay, Kaser. Hey, Kaser. Please, Big Brother gods, I don't know what you have planned for this week's HOH competition, but if it's not like a real estate competition, or like Kaser does something with biomedical engineering or something, like if he's not out here trying to find a cure for COVID, I don't know what it is, but it's got to be something geared towards these two. We've got to flip this game around. It is headed in a terrible trajectory, and we just need things to change. And Kaser's letting them know he is here to play. He is not here to have a good time and hang out for the summer. He came for a job, and he is ready to do it.
So, at CBS, y'all please DM at tag CBS, because no more Zoom comps, okay? Because we know Kaser's not good at those.
Yeah.
So
Something
erase that.
tailored towards him. Please
The
just
DJ
let it
comp,
be in his
whatever.
wheelhouse. Yeah, let him play Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. I don't know, but it needs to come in his wheelhouse. Please, just, we've got to put it into the universe. We have to have a Janelle or Kaser HOH. It has to happen. Or
I'm also disappointed in CBS for missing the mark on creating a audio clip of DJ Kaser, like
yeah.
DJ Khaled. They could play over all music played in the Big Brother house. So
Yeah, that's great. So we do have a little bit of piping hot tea because another
a little bit.
conversation.
We got a lot.
Yeah.
This is a big one.
This is a big one, and there's not a lot to say on it, so we're going to hit on it real quick and we're going to move on from it. So, we see a conversation on the feed yesterday where Cody is talking about how on his first season he played with Frankie Grande. We all know Frankie, shine bright like a Frankie, Ariana Grande's brother, and he says something to the effect of his dad and Frankie had some type of thing, and he kind of leaves it at that, and the feed's cut from him, and we get stars. So
Ooh.
take from
Oh.
it what you will, but it's put out there by Cody, some type of thing between Frankie Grande and his father.
And we are just the messenger, folks. We are just taking this off of the feeds and just giving it to the people.
Do
So,
with it what you will, but straight from the horse's mouth.
please hit us in the comments with any links you find to these articles of Frankie Grande,
Yeah, that
Frankie
there are
Calafiore.
apparently articles out there about Papa Calafiore and Frankie Grande We couldn't find them, but they must be there because Cody says they are. So interesting.
Yeah, so drop it like it's hot. Hit us with the comments on the articles and links that you find. Help us out, folks. Speaking of articles, we have an article from TMZ on Memphis.
Yeah, so another thing Memphis brings up in the house yesterday is that when he gets out of the BB house, he is ready to come for TMZ because 12 years ago, when he was fresh off of BB10, they wrote this terrible article about him, just calling him a douchebag. They obviously recognized it pretty early. And they said, breaking news, Big Bros Memphis destined for brokenness. And this has a clip attached to it that we're not going to play. You can check it out on your own if you're interested. But he is just bragging about all the bank that he brought home from BB10, how they weren't able to give him the car, so they just had to give him cash, and how he's just rolling in it. And they leave with the scathing remarks of money can't buy class. And so Memphis is coming for you, TMZ. We're just here to put you on notice. So you better be ready.
Again, we're just the messengers, folks. We're just the messengers.
So watch out, TMZ. He's coming for you.
All right. So after all of that tea, we're going to move right into our tweet of the day.
Tweet,
Tweet,
tweet.
tweet. Also, if there's any jingle makers out there, you want to put that in a jingle for us, hit us with a link to that in our comments as well.
Yeah, we would love to be hooked up with a jingle maker. So
Is that what
holler.
they're called? Jingle. We call it Twitter person, jingle person.
Yes, a jingle maker. I believe that's the proper terminology.
We should get Joey and Jesse from Full House.
Yes, what a great idea. That's what they did for a living.
Those Joey and Jesse's people from Full House, please get in contact with us. Slide in our DMs.
Thank you.
All right, our tweet of the day goes to none other than Evil Dick himself, Danny's father. And he
Assuming
says,
he's still living.
he's still living after Danny's swearing on his life. He says, honestly, for an all-star season, they are all playing like a bunch of amateurs, and Evil Dick, we couldn't agree more. Honestly, Memphis feels the same way, but he's going down the douchiest path possible to do it and to prove this. So we couldn't agree more with you, Evil Dick. They're just playing like a bunch of pansies in this house.
Yeah, it's a mess. That sums it up. The BB22 house is a mess.
It's a dumpster fire.
Which sometimes makes for entertaining television, but not very strategically driven. So
no, I don't even honestly know how CBS would show the dumpster fire of this house on, because it wouldn't make sense. They don't have enough time to get through all of the piles of shit that is going on in this house right now.
For sure.
To say the least, to say it as nicely as possible.
Right, absolutely.
So that brings us to the end of our show, and let's see if there's any comments over here for us to hit on. One comment from our friend Calor. We hope we're saying this right. We're so sorry for not, because you are a diehard fan of ours and we appreciate you watching every day. Also, I have not watched past Big Brother seasons. Why is Nicole F a snake?
Well, that's kind of a loaded question. Nicole F is a snake because she's just very squirmy, and you can see it on the feed. She's doing her typical thing where she's just constant. She's constantly on the move. She's trying to be in everybody's ear, straighten things out, and she just doesn't give anybody any chance to try to turn on her. So it was an effective strategy. She did manage to win her second season, but it's just very squirmy. And so she was called out for being a snake, and some other fond nicknames that people have for her include Rat Cole and all kinds of things. And those aren't things
It's
that you
called
want
a
to be compared
witch.
to. Yeah. A rat, a snake, those aren't good terms. So that just kind of describes people's feelings towards Nicole. She just is very
She plays this like
schemy.
soft, like innocent. That's how she likes to come off, especially like if you just watch her on the show, you're just
Hmm.
gonna see this maybe innocent version
Sweet.
of her. Yeah, sweet little blonde, innocent Nicole. But you see a whole different person actually in the game. So,
Yeah.
and she likes that name. She calls herself a snake. So this isn't like really. She knows that's her game, and it's
Yeah.
a game she plays. It's a game she won with. So more power
Kudos
to
to
her.
you. Yeah.
Yeah,
But she's very schemy. That's the word I'd use for her.
schemy, squeamy.
Squeamy.
All right, so that brings us to the end of our show today, guys. Thanks everyone who joined us live. If you are joining us post show after this has been recorded live, then again, hit us with the comments, hit us with the thumbs up, and click that subscribe button so that every day you're getting a notification when we go live with the Russell Hantz Show. Also, don't forget to comment those links to your favorite jingle makers, to the articles you find on Cody and Frankie, Cody's dad and Frankie. Be sure to hit us with all the comments of your thoughts of this episode. And we wanted to remind everyone to go check out our Twitter and our Instagram at reality underscore TRHS. That's RealiTEA underscore TRHS. And wanted to remind you that we are going to be doing a special Instagram live after the episode tomorrow, Wednesday. We are on Central Time, so we will be up after the episode airs Central Time and Eastern Time on Instagram. So hit us with a follow so you get the notification. And we're going live with a very special guest, previous Big Brother house guest and conspiring bitch herself, Kat Dunn. So we are so excited to be going live on Instagram with Kat herself on Wednesday. So check us out on Instagram and Twitter. Give us a follow so that you're getting notification and can watch us as we go live with Kat. Ask her some questions about this season, get her thoughts, and get her latest conspiracy theories. So be sure to check that out this Wednesday after the Big Brother episode. Other than that, everyone like, subscribe, and we will see you tomorrow at 12 o'clock Central Standard Time. So, cheers to that. We will see y'all tomorrow. Bye, guys.